I'd like to do a little Prime reviews really quick. Like I want a fastball special you really quick. So these are books that's coming out over the last month or so that I've been reading at work because I'm working a million hours a week and weird shifts, but I have breaks where I can read. So this is where I catch up on my read. I'm going to go by companies first. DC Comics. I got to admit I didn't read any of the Future End stuff or whatever that crap was. I didn't look at the Infinite Timeline or anything like that, but I picked up some Future State. Okay. Well, this is the Infinite Frontier, the kind of relaunching of some stuff. Suicide Squad #1. The last series was really good, written by Tom Taylor. I'm sorry. And this one is after this. It's a new writer, Robbie Thompson. The art, the guy I never heard of, but solid art. I didn't think I would really like it, but I just tried it because it was #1 and I needed stuff to read. I actually liked it. So there you go. Suicide Squad #1. #2 has not come out yet. If you are a fan of art, Batman Black and White. It's a prestige kind of format book. They're $5.99. They're on issue, I think 3 or 4 now. Yeah, this is 4 in my hand. This, I just can't tell you enough. The stories are good. The art is great. Like this is not so many artists are getting their first opportunity to write a story because it seems like the editors at DC said, we want your art. We don't care what you write about. Give it a shot. These are really great things. Even if you're only picking them up for art wise, Sean, you might really like these. Beautiful stuff. I can't say enough like how blown away I am. And as a guy who tries to do art, I'm like, maybe I should just stop and keep buying their stuff. Anyways, moving on. Joker #1, same kind of deal. I picked this up, thought I'd give it a read to see what it was about. It's written by the same guy who writes Batman right now, Tinian. I didn't care about this book at all. I mean, like I read it. I'm going to tell you, like, it's not terrible. It's just not for me. That's what I mean by that. I'm not going to pick up issue 2. It's not awful. It's just not for me. It's something I just don't want to read right now. So other people that read it at the store, they loved it. They said I'm crazy. And they might be because I'm also dropping Batman. And Tinian writes Batman. I've had enough of that too. So I'm off of that. Anyways, moving on. Same artist as who did the Joker, Gillian March, is doing a comic called Karmen. Karmen, this is in a bag and board. See if you can see it without a glare. Karmen is from Image Comics. I got to be honest. I bought this because of a Milo Manara cover. No other reason. I opened it up. It had some stuff that kind of looked like the Day of the Dead or the Sugar Skull stuff in there. Just enough where I said, Jennifer, why don't you read this book? And she immediately got it. And there's some nudity in it. And she's like, oh, you bought this book because it's porn, because Milo Manara. And I said, kind of. She read it. She said it was amazing. She wouldn't tell me one drop about anything on it. I read it. I couldn't get enough of this book. I didn't want it to end. It's written by Gillian March. It's drawn by Gillian March. It is really amazing and a sleeper. Everybody I've recommended this to and borrowed this to have loved it. So I highly recommend Karmen #1 if you can still find it.
It was great.
Did you read it too?
I did.
It was fabulous.
It's brilliant. Seriously.
Next book, Demon Days by Demon Days X-Men. It's by Peach Momoko. It's a female artist writer. I believe she's from Japan. It's beautiful. She is a fabulous artist. She's doing a ton of like extra covers for Marvel. She's been doing covers for the Usagi Yojimbo reprint series that puts those black and white comics in color. The beautiful covers, great stuff. I think this is the first time she's wrote a story. I could be wrong on that. She also did this in Batman too. Maybe Batman was a written story, but beautiful artwork. It's a one shot, but another issue's coming out, I think May or in the summer. What's kind of loosely follows the story. Anyways, worth it alone for the art, but the story is good too. Even Jennifer read this as well. So speaking of Peach Momoko, she did this cover for Aliens #1. I'm probably not like the other Taskforce Geek guys. I mean, these guys are a little bit older than me. So when Alien came out, they just, they creamed their little panties and everything. Anyways, you guys probably loved it and appreciated it more than I did because I was younger. And to be truthful, my parents didn't let me watch it because I had nightmares of scary things. So this was not up my alley as a kid. I loved Alien and Aliens the second one or whatever, Aliens. I really loved those movies as a teenager. I did not care for Alien 3, and at that time I didn't want to do anything with the franchise. This is my first Alien comic. Very good. Maybe not the best thing I've ever read, but enough that surprisingly I picked this up for the cover. I thought I'd go ahead and read it since it was number 1. I'm still going to pick up number 2. Have you read that, Dirk?
Alien?
Uh-huh.
I have not.
Okay, it just came out last week and it already sold out at my store, so I'm pretty sure they're going to do a second printing. Going through some more independent books. Stoney Williams, he did the writing for Villainous. It wrapped up. It was very good. Highly recommend that. Orcs, more female love here. This is by Christine Larson. The best way I can describe this book is I did not read Bone. I've read 1 or 2 issues, but I didn't consistently. The art is beautiful. To me, it reminds me of a Jeff Smith type style. It's a female writer artist. I think she does everything but her colors. She might even do that. Just as illustrated by. Yeah, so she might. Somebody else does the flats, so she must do the last enhancement on the images. These books are great. The second issue is 42 pages long. 42 pages long. It's crazy. Anyways, this is by Boom Studios. Give it a shot. It's all ages book, so you can read it to your children, whatever. Berserker. Did you read this, Dirk?
I did not.
All right, this is the Keanu Reeves book.
I should have that waiting on me.
Okay, this was okay. Meaning, probably if the character didn't look like Keanu Reeves and he was in spandex and his name was like Ultra Spaceman, he's an alien that landed on the planet Earth and the story's about him, I probably would have loved it because it would have been like a generic superhero and everything else. The guy looked too much like John Wick to me, but I liked it enough to get issue 2. So right. That should say something, right? A lot of action, lots of gore. Jennifer read that. She thought it was okay too. So comics I haven't read, but I want you to be aware of. Marvel started doing this thing. They did one last year where they took Giant Size X-Men #1 from back in like 1976, I believe. And they had artists redo page by page by page. Exact same layout, just their style. Okay. They changed some of the script to make it, because it was written in the 1970s and they didn't want to offend people. But for the most part, it's like recreating shot by shot like they would a Disney movie, but with comics. They did one of these. Marvel just released one of these for Captain America. Now, there were several covers, but inside you have a lot of different artists, and they take that same page layout that used to be there, and they just go through it with new artists. So it's really cool to see like the retelling of Captain America. I have not read this yet. And to be truthful, I haven't read this old Captain America comics #1 anyway, so that's another reason why I picked it up. And last, I think this is last but not least, remember I think it's called Allegiance Arts, the comic books that were going to be exclusive to Walmart.
Right.
The first 2 issues came out. They had stickers on them because Walmart covered them with stickers because they had to put another UPC code on there, which drove collectors crazy. Some of the books without stickers went on eBay for high prices. Anyways, it was just a cluster. And then issue 1 came out, issue 2 came out. I bought them. I tried them. I didn't think they were bad. It was kind of fun not finding comics in the comic store, if that kind of made sense. Like the old chase of like, oh, let's go to the gas station and see what books are up there because the local little bookstore doesn't carry anything but Marvel and DC. Because we used to do that when I was a kid. We walked to a gas station named Save a Stop, and we got continuity comics by Neil Adams. And it was like, that was the coolest thing ever. That was the only place to get those books. So I read the books. I enjoyed most of them. Like, I thought all of them were good, and I liked some of them even more. Issue 3 just came out of those books. So you got Red Rooster #3. You got Bass Reeves #3, or episodes is what they're calling these. Futurist #3, and Noah Saga, which I thought was the best book of all of them, written by the female writer Blake Northcutt. So there you go. So they're out. If you're interested in those, I have not read them, so I can't tell you if they're good or bad, but I'm looking forward to it. Actually, I'm going to go back and just reread 1 and 2 because it's been close to, 5 to 6 months since I got issue 2, and we'll see if they keep up with it. There is no stickers on them. So Walmart listened this time. So that's kind of a quick machine gun style, but a whole bunch of it prime reviews.
It's good stuff, man.
Keep reading comics, fellas. There's so much out there. There's actually
I have
ridiculous
Alien.
amount.
I have Alien. I just haven't read it.
I read it today, so because I knew I was going to be talking to you tonight, I wanted to kind of talk about it.
I looked at some of the art.
They definitely did the same
thing. It's an artist that I like, but
it's Salvador LaRocca.
Right.
And he did the Star Wars book for a while, and you can definitely tell with these licensed stuff that they give them I would imagine they give them 10,000 images of these like characters and stuff. And and you might know Alien lore better than me. There's only one character taken out of the movies and stuff.
It looks like Bishop.
Okay, okay. It is Bishop. So, but you could tell that he definitely used photo reference. If not, if anything, he maybe put a layer down, drew over it, and then deleted the layer.
It looks exactly like what's his
name. And he did really good stuff when he did Star Wars too, because that's the one thing about the new Star Wars book, The High Republic, is those artists don't have to use. There's no movie stars tied to them, so they can kind of draw them as freely as they want. For those who care, the High Republic comic, number 1, I thought was so-so. Number 2, I thought was better. Number 3, I don't know if we're back to so-so. I'm having a hard time connecting with the characters and stuff. But, maybe
sales.
Sales are fine. There's also a High Republic Adventures book out. That's through another IDW or somebody like that. And sales are doing fine at our store, so people are liking it. Maybe it's just not meant for my generation. Maybe it is meant for the younger reader and new people, and that's fine too. It's okay to have a lot of stuff out there. So, anyways, that's it from the Spicy King, bud.
Hey, is there anything else that you want to say before you wrap up here to everyone?
I'd just like to thank everybody for all the support. I'm going to be honest. I've been kind of butthurt because I feel like I'm missing out lately because I'm at work all the time. But not only am I missing out with, my friends and hanging out with the show, I'm missing out with my kids. I'm missing out with just regular friends and family doing other things. And when you only have when you work nights and everybody else works days in your life, it's very difficult. And, even tomorrow I go in.
I've been there.
Tomorrow I have one of those days where I go in at 7 a.m. and I get off at midnight, and I'm not exaggerating, folks. That's what I'm doing right now. And I do love my job, but I don't love this part about it right now. So we'll just keep working through it, and I'll try to get on the show when it works out, So don't forget me. I'm here. I'm still around.
Dude, Walt's doing a T-shirt of you.
Well, I know. Walt's amazing. Yeah, I love the designs of that. That's why I had to wear the crown tonight.
Everyone always asks where you are. Everyone knows what's going on.
I know. I understand. It's just, you want just a couple nights of the week to be free, and this is one of them. So I get it, and we'll just power through it and stuff. But keep reading comics out there. There's a lot of awesome, cool things.
There is.
I have noticed that, I guess everybody with their stimulus check, the comics shop is so busy right now.
Right.
I figure this is people they want a graphic novel, they want some magic cards, they want this and that, and they're spending that stimulus check. And that's okay, because that's kind of what they're meant to be, right? To keep your sanity and get caught up on things. So I can't blame people for doing it.
Dude, I'm gonna call an audible here and say, what do you think about Marvel doing distribution through someone other than Diamond?
What
does that mean?
I don't know exactly. Diamond is still probably going to carry Marvel Comics from what I was talking to Brian, the Wizards owner.
Or just for the next month or two?
It sounds like Diamond is going to have the option to buy the books from Penguin at maybe a discounted rate, and then they have to increase the prices to sell them to the regular comic stores. So what that means for
what a mess.
From what it sounds like, for Brian, he can create a new account and go through Penguin, was it Penguin Press or whoever it is, Penguin Books.
Right.
And he can get his books directly from Penguin, or he can continue to go through Diamond. Just all the Marvel prices are going to raise up a little bit because Diamond's got to make some money too. Now, how long term is this? I don't know. It kind of shocked me in some ways, but in other ways, they probably saw that DC's you know, all these, everything's tied to money, and you get one accountant in there who figures out how to save 2 pennies, and then you times that by 50,000, and then they go, look at all this money, you know. So
yeah,
it's all about pennies adding up to be millions, and you know, doesn't shock me. I mean, Marvel's owned by the mouse. The mouse is going to go wherever the money walks. So.
yeah. Well, here's the question: is Penguin owned by the mouse? Are they going vertical with this?
They might.
Like it's all owned by the same people?
They might. I mean, I'm still convinced like Disney owns over half the world, and they probably really do.
Yeah.
It's like Disney, Viacom, and one other company that we don't know about.
Right.
And they're probably all owned by the Rothschilds and
exactly.
and the Illuminati. So like, you know, the people that are going to live forever. So there you go.
Yeah.
We'll probably, this episode will probably get taken down because we mentioned the Illuminati.
That's right. It's all over now, baby.
Yeah. You people who think you're supporting your other this or that and you're boycotting Disney are full of it, you know.
So true.
But
so true.
No, it was very interesting. And, you know, maybe in 4 months I'll have a better story to tell you about like how it's better and stuff, because DC books now come out Tuesday, you know, instead of Wednesday. So new comics come out on Tuesday and Wednesday. And some people can't wait. They show up at the comic store on Tuesday and you'll see them the next day on Wednesday. Right. Because they don't want to,
good.
You know, the fear of missing out. They want to make sure they get the, you know, if there's an alternate cover. So it gets people in the door twice, you know, some people twice as much.
Yeah.
I think it's funny because when I started noticing a trend of like new comics come out once a week, because when I was a kid, we went, you know, every couple of weeks you went and you saw comics or not. And then you figured out, oh, new books come on this day. Well, it used to be Friday. And then it backed up to Thursday. And then it backed up to Wednesday. And now I'm wondering if we're going to see both companies come out on Tuesday. I mean, eventually they're going to have to just flop it back to Friday. I mean, they're going to keep resetting it back. But whatever. It's interesting. It's crazy. I bet Diamond crapped themselves over this, because that's how they've made their money for a long time.
No question.
So.
I mean, it changes the face of the you know, now independent comics are their bread and butter. So in some ways it'll be beneficial to maybe the smaller guys.
It could.
Maybe.
So we'll see what happens in the long run.